The maker can see you right now. You gotta wake up now, right now, right now. I see you plagued by your own doubt. Can't step the game up like a snake when he rolled down. Internal, infernal, 10 journals written, but I'm still not sure though. Man, not a better plan. What you want, a metal man? Huh? Do you really think you're better than? All you really need is a long hook, 2 16s and a strong hook like wake up the people, don't doubt it, make up can see you right now. To get out the sea dough, so clouded, sell out the B-dough right now. Break.
Salutations, BAQE Nation! Welcome to another killer, exciting episode of the African Basketball Show, BAQE, your hangout spot for hoops, music, and entertainment. I'm talking about everything to do with the baggy shorts, the J's, and the turntables. I'm your host, Silali O'Ward, together with East Africa's #1 hype man, DNG.
I'm waiting for you to say top of the top.
I never say top of the top.
Top shot of holding it down, yo. And you at home, I need you to relax, sit back, and enjoy the show. We got a wicked episode lined up for you. We'll be starting things off by checking out basketball development on the court across Africa, and we'll also be hitting the hardcore streets that signify the BAQE spirit.
Hey, he said it first,
Yo.
so strap in and get cozy. First off, it's about the giants of Africa. At BAQE, we're all about taking African basketball to a whole other level, and we like to shed the spotlight on others who are doing the same.
It's so refreshing to see these glowing faces of young people in this African continent starting to believe in themselves and the opportunities that Africa has for them. And that's what this next piece is all about. Are you ready for the action?
I am ready, let's go!
Let go!
A championship team keeps it up throughout the game, whether you're up or down. You are up, so you keep stepping on their throats.
Hey, we gotta react quick now. Get that ball.
Giants of Africa is a foundation we formed 12 years ago. We try to use basketball as a tool, impacting kids, teaching them the basic fundamentals of the game, and also teaching them life skills.
Open up the court. Open up the court.
We got the name Giants from scouting big kids around the continent, and then as we expanded more, we thought an imprint of Giants makes every kid feel like confident about themselves, feel like a Giant.
Every time they give us a full set of a full jersey, from your kit to your shoes. Other than that, I think the other most important thing they teach us is a lot of mental strength and mental stability. Some of our coaches don't do that.
Maybe people take it for granted that they're here, but what they don't realize is you have the top 50 players picked, and they're here, they're ready to work. So it just keeps you growing as a player, and also just personally, it helps you just learn how life is on the court and off the court.
We out here. Showtime. 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 Nice play. Nice play. Enjoy it, fellas. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
We started off in Nigeria, we did it for 12 years, then we expanded to Kenya, and now we've built it to 4 countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda. The experience has been phenomenal, knowing different cultures, different kids, different habits. It's been phenomenal for us and an unbelievable experience.
The life skills session is basically explaining to the kids that there's more to basketball than reaching the NBA. Because a lot of people make a mistake. When they see these camps, they always believe that it's about going to America. Masai Ujiri never went to the NBA, but he's the president general manager of an NBA team, but he didn't play in the NBA. So you can become anything with basketball. And those are some of the things that are in our life skills session. So the life skills shows you that we can be a basketball sports journalist, sports marketer, sports doctor. You can be anything in sports, not just play basketball and become an NBA player.
Man, that's some real talent right there. And like Abel and Son said, they don't even have to play in the NBA. They can simply grow to become anything that they want to be. And speaking of Abel, later on in the show, we'll be hanging out with him as he gives us some serious insights on the state of African basketball. So stick around for that.
Yes, and you know what, Tulale? Those were some serious world-class moves right there, man. A big shout out to the Giants of Africa for putting them under the spotlight. And up next, folks, we have a story that the BAQE team has wanted to tell for a long, long while.
In 1999, the Eaglets, a top female basketball team in Kenya, were traveling back home after a basketball game in Mombasa when they were involved in a fatal car accident, which saw several players and team staff lose their lives.
And the BAQE team met up with some of the surviving players to help us put this story together in honor of the former Eaglets basketball team.
My name is Sylvia Kamau Ochola. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 2 sons. I started playing basketball in high school, and it's something that became a part of me. Initially, it was just a sport. When I was in high school, it was just a sport. It was just a way of just the normal getting out of school. At least it gives us a 1 trip or 2, so you're out of school.
My name is Angela Bochivia. I'm a mother to a young boy called Albert. I'm a wife and a mentor to many young girls. Eaglets was like a family. It was like a family to me. It was the first team I played for when I left high school, and I got a lot of inspiration from the players who were there.
I remember it was a young team because I was the oldest at that time and I was pretty young myself. We'd always meet every day at 3 whenever they didn't have classes. We'd always meet every day at the club. We'd train to oblivion. I think we'd meet at 3 and train all the way until 9. It was a good team and we had dreams.
1999 was a big year for me. I can say I joined Barclays Eaglets in 1998 in June. This is the year I got my first call up to the national team. And also this is the year of the accident.
We were around 14 people in total who traveled. Incidentally, during the game against KPA, I fell down and hurt my knee. It was not as bad, but at night, my knee became stiff. So the next morning I decided not to travel with them because I needed leg room for my knee.
So on the way back from Mombasa, we first got a tire burst, then we lost control. So when we lost control, we veered off the road, and as the driver was trying to control the vehicle, we ended up rolling.
Most of us were asleep, so the tire burst woke us up. Most of us woke us up startled us, so we woke up. Angie and I think, were the only guys who were conscious at the time, and I had hurt my leg, so I was unable to move quite much after the accident. So, but Angie had fractures on her. She fractured her legs, but Angie, like we still call her, even right now, she's Pundaya team. She always has extra energy from somewhere. She managed to walk around, pull a few guys out of the car.
It was very tragic, but I think through that time, that's when I also learned how strong of a person I am. It took a lot first to overcome even just being on the road. Immediately after the accident, for some time, I didn't want to drive anywhere. I was very scared of roads. But the best way to overcome your fears sometimes is by facing them. I got onto the road a number of times, obviously before I bought a car when I was still in campus, and would tell myself, I'll take that trip down to Mombasa. Not for anything, but let me take it just so that it can clear my mind and help me to move on with life.
I can say the love for basketball is what kept us going, and that is what makes us still play. Honestly speaking, I didn't think I'd ever play basketball again, and I didn't think I'd ever walk. This is just goes to everyone who goes through a tragic event, not necessarily an accident, but to any tragic event, and it takes them off their normal life. I tell them that tragic events are meant to build us. We're supposed to take them as a strong point and move along with that from there.
Welcome back to BAQE. On Game Time this week, we take a look at some hot basketball action from the men's final match of the Kenya Communications Society Sports Tournament, also known as Kikoso. Now, these two teams have had a long history of rivalry, especially among the individual players on the team. Let's jump right in. Chasing the Kenyan sun down one of this country's busiest highways, Mombasa Road takes you to Machakos County, the place to be, especially this week for the annual Kikoso Games, which attracts 9 sports disciplines, but basketball is our focus today, and it's been an interesting lead up to the finals. As both sides begin their pre-game rituals, it's the showdown of the day that many have been waiting to see.
We have good shooters, good point guard like Griffin, who always had the game in his head. Obvious, we're gonna win this game. We got this.
We beat Moak the last time we played against them, but now they came in with a new name, Mosca, so same thing. We're just gonna do the same thing we did last time, kick the
Some fighting words from KPA's Evan Lating, but one has to be careful not to be too confident. Respecting your opponent is one of the first steps to success. Both sides preparing for battle, and it's always interesting to see what styles different teams use to warm up. After some final words from the coaches and a moment to focus, it's game time. KPA coming out of the blocks hard and strong early, pushing for the lead in the first half, and that's exactly what they needed to do against a tough team like Mosca. Good move from number 10, Kushin Birye. Griffin Ligari did manage to keep his team somewhat in the game, however, and you can see him there telling his teammates to keep calm, no need to worry, there's still plenty of time to rally back. KPA are successful in maintaining a lead, but not by much. It's just 9 points to give them the edge on Mosca.
Watch on Ansett and Griffin. I believe the game rotate on them. So if you're playing Ansett, if you're playing Griffin, take away his strength.
What's happening is we are forgetting that we are big and strong. Let's punch them at the paint. So.
As we get into the second half, it's clear that KPA knows that Mosca's biggest threats are number 9, Ansett Wafula, and number 4, Griffin Ligari, and they couldn't be any closer to the truth. Number 4, Ligari, is unstoppable on the drive, and Ansett is a sniper on the long-range shot as he drills the three-pointer. And if that isn't bad enough to slow KPA down, how do you stop Kenya's Hulk? Fresh from a stint in Uganda, number 12, Desmond Owili. KPA coach Ojuku getting extremely frustrated as the win slips through their fingers, but the fourth quarter sees Victor Busire come to life at the three-point line, nailing some clutch shots to put KPA back in the lead. With the game down to the wire, Mosca had several opportunities to bounce back, but it's silly turnovers that cost them dearly as Macchiati misses a wide open layup trying to attempt a dunk. If you can't get up there, brother, let it go. KPA take it by a whisker in overtime, 68 to Moscow's 65 points.
In the last few minutes, we didn't do a good job taking care of the ball. We were able to kill time. That's how basketball is. So I guess we live to play another day.
That's the heart of the championship. We don't give up until the last whistle. We were down the whole game. We fought the game to go to the extra times. And then, as I said, being the champions, we just like play like the champions.
There are indeed advantages to championship experience. Better luck next year, Moscow. Now it's time for a sit-down with one of Africa's most authoritative voices in basketball, Abel Nsong.
My name is Abel Nsong. I was born in Yaoundé, the capital city of Cameroon. Unlike people might think, I was raised in the United States of America, mostly in Los Angeles and San Francisco. I predominantly played American football, baseball, lawn tennis, and I was on the swimming team when I was growing up. I started playing basketball at the age of 15 when we came back to Cameroon. And that is when I immediately realized that basketball is actually where I belong. My father always said to me, you can be whoever you want to be. So through sheer force of will, hard work, and patience, I became an elite basketball player. I then came to Kenya to play basketball and to study, before finally deciding to get involved in helping develop the sport in the rest of Africa. After not making it as a professional player, I vowed not to let other kids like me that have great talent miss out on an opportunity to nurture their talent, hence all of my involvements in basketball. Basketball is a tool, and if we use it correctly, it can become the one thing that connects the entire continent.
The Toronto Raptors. You are the scout Africa-wide for the NBA team, the Toronto Raptors. What does that actually entail in terms of your job description?
Well, the job as a scout for the Toronto Raptors means basically going for basketball tournaments around the continent, going for the littlest of tournaments or the biggest ones like AfroBasket or Junior Championship. So that's what the job is. And what I do in those championships is look at the top players. I write down some profiles around those top players and I send it back to the team so they can keep track of those players, where they're from, height, age, everything. Even simple tendencies like does this player talk too much to the referee or not? All those little details are noted in the scouting report. Then we send it to our database, and that is used by the team to keep monitoring these players as they see them in next tournaments. If you had mentioned them, they can remind themselves and say, all right, we do have a profile about this player, and we keep following them.
Okay. So what is your criteria then for choosing the right player? You've mentioned several things, but how does a player really make the cut to get to the next level?
The first thing is height, of course. It's size, it's youth, it's athleticism, it's your attitude. Are you coachable? When we're sitting out there in the stands, we look at how this player responds to his coaches, his teammates, to the referees. What does he do after a call? So those little details get into it above and beyond their talent already. You can be 7 foot and you're complaining the whole time, talking back to the coach, throwing your jersey on the floor when you're subbed and walking away. We will not consider you because you'll be bad for the organization.
But you know, Michael Jordan had a bad attitude.
Never showed his bad attitude. Michael Jordan's bad attitude was in private. On the court, he was an exemplary teammate. His only weakness was he was excessively competitive, and that we can take. If you're mad at your teammates because they're not fighting hard enough, then that's okay. That's a positive attitude.
So Abel, why are we not seeing more players going pro? You know, right now the African basketball players we can look up to in the NBA are guys like Bismarck Biyombo, Luol Deng, Serge Ibaka. But with the recent AfroBasket tournament, I saw Oguchi from Nigeria killing it. In fact, he got MVP. Why isn't he in the NBA?
What really is against African players is the culture. We do have the talent, but we don't yet have the attitude and the mentality to conduct ourselves like professionals at all times. So with more professional leagues in Africa, we shall be able to have more players that can transition to the NBA and to that level of basketball.
All right, Abel, let's talk about money and sports. How can African basketball attract more sponsorship?
Well, it's a bit like the theory of the egg and the chicken. The real issue about sponsorship is sponsors come where there are people, and people come where something has been invested, where they can see music and color. when you look at the growth of rugby and any other sport, it's because there were, first of all, people at the venues. That's what attracted all the other sponsors into those venues. The first thing we have to do as a basketball fraternity is bring people to the stadium. How many times do you bring anybody to watch you? How many times do I bring anybody to watch my team or to watch myself? Because in reality also, we need sponsors to invest some money such that this friend that comes and watches the game can be entertained at halftime by some dancers or by an artist. You know, something that is much more interesting to them. You watch the NBA, it's a whole showcase. It's not just about the dunks by the NBA players, it's about everything that happens around it. There are drink vendors, there's food vending, selling of apparel and all the rest. So all that needs to come into place.
Thank you very much, Abel, for coming by the BAQE set and having an interesting discussion. I know you're a busy man, so I'm gonna let you go, but yeah, I need to talk about those shoes, for real. I wasn't playing with you.
Those shoes, only one-on-one. You have to beat me one-on-one to get these shoes out of my legs.
All right. Now, folks, it's time for us to go on a short break, but today you definitely want to stick around because when we come back, we take you straight to where BAQE came from. The streets. No rules, just elbows and foul mouths. Y'all keep it BAQE.
My name is George Gararo Odhiambo. I normally wake up at 7, wear on my jersey, my shoes, then walk to Langata to the basketball court.
Tafadhali expect first lady kwa beat kama hii ikipump kama streets ana e robbery town tukirepresent washi na wavi wanaojiunga na mi.
My name is Derek Mushemi. I've known basketball ever since I finished class 8. I've learned a lot from it. I'd wake up at around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, go take a shower, change, put on my shoes, walk all the way from the house to here, probably like 8 to 10 minutes.
Ever rise, never fall. Jaja has said it, all the chica, but now I'm stronger. Get a superstar, give him sell a nipedonga. Ito waibika, streets in a bunga. Much easy, down on the field, sing along.
Street ball, this is an incident where there's no referee, sometimes there's no foul. Just basic street ball where you might deviate from the original rules.
I'm a Leu Doll, aka the Black Widow, whatever. In street ball, you'll see dunks, you'll see crossovers, ain't no rules, it's more of entertainment. It's not really like structured basketball, like you have a coach, you have to use this system.
There is no rules. You are playing freely with your heart to the fullest. Your teammate don't give a about anything.
There's a lot of profanity, like whatever. It's about ego, you know.
When you find yourself playing in the streets where there are no referees, there's no danger of you getting a technical foul, in the heat of the moment, the 4-letter words will come out. Basketball culture is about the shoes. You can't be talking smack on the court and cussing at guys when your shoes are raggedy and, you're just old.
You have to be fly, on the court and off the court. Just love that.
I've had friends who've used drugs. I've never mentioned their names. I've had friends who've fallen into the dark abyss of alcoholism. The one thing I appreciate about playing basketball, every time maybe I have an urge even to go to the pub or something, I have an urge to come to the court at 5 o'clock. And I'm like, this is the best high I can get.
Damn, like, I don't know where to start. I lost a lot of the names on the wall and all that. Like, drunken driving, like shooting you up in their veins, you know.
This court in particular it has brought two different groups of people together. And we have different settings. We have guys from Kibera, guys who are maybe you can say downtrodden and stuff. And we have guys from the burbs, as they say, the Southlands estate and stuff like that. But once we come to the court, everyone's equal.
Kibera is known for very, very weird things like drug, prostitution, fighting, robbery. But with that, I managed to come out of this because of basketball. It is not all about the wealth that you have. It is all about the love that you have for the basketball that bring us together as one.
Oh, hardcore for sure. I mean, I can't even repeat some of the stuff that Black Widow said in that piece. But you know what, D?
What?
These tough streets truly define what BAQE is.
Word.
Now, we're not saying go home, into the kitchen, curse out your mama, tell her you want that food now. No, that will earn you a hot slap. This is Africa. We know how that goes down. What we're saying is BAQE represents the rawness of urban Africa.
BAQE is the voice of the streets, you feel me? We recognize the hustle. We recognize the struggle that young people go through in this continent. And big shout out to everybody trying to be somebody, putting in that extra effort, that extra work, knowing that one day gonna make it. That is the spirit of BAQE.
Indeed, indeed. Folks, that's all the time we have for BAQE this week. But y'all know we got you. Just pull out your phone and hit up the links at the bottom of your screen for some sick stuff on our social media platforms. It's so crazy, it's fun, I can't explain it, D. Let
me break it down for you. Got all those shoulders, shake. Doing it down the music video, you feel me? This is BAQE.
Thank you.